Oh my, well, what we can discuss. We actually are both recovering alcoholics, and we met on a softball field.
He was friends with my older brother when they were in high school, and I was in middle school, and I had a crush on him. I'd follow the two of them around all the time.
I kind of found him extremely attractive, and I was like, yeah, I'll let him take me out on a date. Now, mind you, I was only 20 and he was 30.
Well, we met, Carol was dating a friend of mine across the street, and Carol and I just sort of hit it off, and we really, we knew we were together, we just enjoyed each other's company.
I think the only thing we had in common really was Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't think we had anything else in common really. You know, we went to a lot of meetings together and shared the 12-step program with each other, and it just kind of blossomed into, we started dating. And
what I like about her is that she makes me laugh, and we can agree on the same things, and things that we watch, we both enjoy the same type of shows, and just enjoy being around her and making each other laugh.
The first thing I remember liking about Ted was his voice. I'm very into voices, I guess. And then we were dating one time, and the thing that you did out in Scottsbluff at that time was you'd drag me, and that was the big thing to do. And we had a flat tire, and my dad was always a very angry man, and so I was kind of bracing myself, waiting for Ted to get angry, and he didn't. And so that just really kind of confirmed that that was the kind of man that I was looking for. And
Mom was the one that got me to go to church, and so I could date her and stuff. So that was sort of the start of, because I wasn't a Christian before then, and then in the Navy I gave my life to Christ. And
we wrote back and forth because it was too expensive to call very often. There was no such thing as cell phones then, or email, or text, anything like that. So there was a lot of letters back and forth.
On July 5th, you asked me to marry you.
yeah.
I was laying on the couch, and Laverne and Shirley were on, and he said, hey, let's go get married.
I left for the first tour of Vietnam, and so right after I got back from it is when we got ready to we decided to get married, and we were getting ready. She had to do most of the work because I was in Long Beach and she was in Scottsbluff and stuff. So she planned the wedding, her and her mom and sisters, and in August 21st, 1971, we got married at the Berean Church in Mitchell, Nebraska.
We was dating and decided to get married. Got married on the 29th of April, 2012.
He proposed to me when I was in the hospital. I was hospitalized for pregnancy-related medical issues. I was in the hospital for about 2.5 weeks, then delivered Conley early. He proposed to me in the hospital, then we got married 2 days after he was born in the conference room at the NICU.
We decided to just go get married at the Little Chapel of Love.
From The Hangover.
It's the actual church that was featured in the movie The Hangover. That's where we got married.
And I mean, we're more dressed up today than the day we got married.
Yeah. And then I think we went
It was before cell phones, so we couldn't find our bridal parties or anything.
And then we went, I think, to the Sahara Saloon for chicken fingers afterwards, and then I think everybody went back to work. It wasn't a big deal.
We didn't really have much of a wedding.
We haven't
There
had
wasn't
much of a
anyone there.
wedding. So
It was just my dad and some hospital staff members.
that was about it.
We moved about every 2.5, 3 years with the company I was working for. And so we didn't really get to have any good friends, deep relationships, because we moved around so much.
The last year has been rough.
Since March, it's been really rough. But I'm just slowly coming
Because
back.
March of last year is when we lost our daughter, lost our house, and made us learn to appreciate things more. I'm closer to God
And then
and
just-
appreciate what He has given us.
I think for me, the tough times was we went through infertility for several years, and then we were able to adopt our 3 children, and so that was how we got our family. And another tough time was when Ted was unemployed for a year, and that was quite a challenge.
Because we had house payment and car payment and all the bills and stuff, and we lived on Carol's salary for a year. And I went to job interviews almost every day, and Cassie thought my
That was your job?
my job was the job interview. So
We, probably the biggest thing that happened to us was my 14-year-old son passed away. And
In 2000.
yeah, in 2000. We were both, 10 years sober.
Yep.
And it was the hardest thing I think her and I have ever gone through. We've gone through bankruptcies. I think that really showed us that family was the most important thing ever.
And all that moving and everything we did, we knew it was like us and the kids.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was always us as family, no
Yeah.
matter what. So I think that helped us.
Been had our ups and downs, and we've just learned to talk out to each other and work through our problems. Have fun raising our 5 kids.
I think we both have Jesus in our hearts now, where I don't think we had it when we first started out.
no.
Yeah.
what one area God worked in us is that bring us together as a couple, as one, instead of not as individuals. And
I think He's tested our faith a lot in order to try and bring us closer to Him and closer to each other. The last year has been tough with losing our house and losing our daughter. But I think He's only used that to bring us closer to Him. And to teach us to be grateful for what He has given us. And to appreciate each other more. I think I was going over with my mother a little over a year ago when Jeremy and I were actually talking about getting divorced. Was that it's not an emotion to love each other, it's a choice that you have to make every day. And it was something that she was reminding me of. Choice to love each other, to choose to do it and work on it daily.
Just don't leave, because once you leave, it's harder to work things out, There was so many times to where, we would be so angry at each other, but we just wouldn't leave. I mean, as angry as he'd make me, as angry as I'd make him, we'd hash it out and work it out. And sometimes it wasn't the healthiest because we weren't in the best spots, but we definitely have worked through that. And now, so much of the time, we will have an argument and we just laugh. Like, he was on vacation all last week and I was just driving him nuts and he was driving me nuts and we just kept laughing about it.
I think it takes a lot of being willing to forgive each other and just to hang in there.
yeah, you have to don't go to bed at night angry at each other, and it's a lot of work to become a married couple, and you have to have each other's back.
And my kids, I think they understand that, just because you don't get along doesn't mean you get a divorce.
So why are we doing this, besides the fact that you're making me do it?
Because I've never done it in front of family and friends.
We didn't really have much of a wedding the first time. There was no one there. It was mostly hospital staff. So we'd like to include the church family this time.
Kind of a nice thing to do in our time of life, and just rededicate ourselves to each other and to Christ.
We're getting ready to start a new phase of our life now. We'll both be retiring soon, in a year or so, and it's gonna be a different way of life for us. And I thought this would be a good way to refresh our love for each other and our enjoyment of each other. And we've been together for 46 years, and it's been a fast 46 years, but I wouldn't trade it for anything else.
Has just become quite the quite the ride, and it's been pretty amazing. And I mean, from the guy who I first met, 10 years my senior, and I'd never been in a healthy relationship in my life, and now I've never been happier, and I've never been more in love with him, and I tear up when I talk about him, and I mean, it just doesn't seem like that's how it's supposed to be after 25 years, but it is.